We've had a chance to catch up with the Minister Phil Gawne, who's down here at Braddock as well. Really, away from the other subject, you're making news because you're going to be closing some of the seabeds tomorrow. What exactly are you doing?
Yeah, what we're doing is responding to the requirements of the fishing industry. What I'm really pleased about actually is that the fishermen and the fish processors have come together and basically said to the department, will you close our Queenie fishery off? Now that sounds a bit counterintuitive because there's still Queenies out there that could be caught. The market for Queenies is quite good at the moment, so they could actually short term make quite a bit more money this year. But what they're saying is we recognise that the Queenies aren't going to be there forever, and if we catch them all this year there'll be very little left next year. Now this sort of comes out of the MSC accreditation, that's Marine Stewardship Council, which is a environmental standard which is required now if you're trying to sell into particularly UK supermarkets. So we've got this standard. The MSC accreditation means that we have to be seen to be, and indeed doing, the management of the Queenie fishery in a very sustainable way. So they require certain things to happen. They require us to be able to demonstrate sustainable fisheries management.
And the fishermen, they came to you to close it. I mean, this is quite unusual, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. As part of the MSC accreditation, we established a Queenie Management Board. The Queenie Management Board has processors, scientists, fishermen, fishermen's representatives, and they take advice. They listen to the scientists, they commission scientific work as well, and effectively at the beginning of this fishing season they looked an assessment was done of fish stocks on the ground. 4,000 tonnes were available, or between 3,500 and 4,000 tonnes were available before there was going to be a detrimental impact on next year's and the year after's Queenie fishery. So the Queenie Management Board have followed the advice of the scientists and asked me to close the fishery. But it's a major step forward, I think, that we've got fishermen looking at the longer term sustainability of their industry rather than purely short-term gain.
And that closes it for all the vessels, is it?
Yeah, that's right the way through now till the 31st of March. No Queenies to be taken in the Manx Territorial Sea.
I mean, going back to this thing, you're doing all this work on making sure that there is sustainability there, but I mean, these other fishermen can come in when it's open and help themselves. It doesn't seem right, does it, when you're doing all this work to try and protect the stock?
Well, I think it is, because all the fishermen have to fit in with our rules. We are actually now trying to develop this across the Irish Sea, particularly with regards to Queenies. I'm talking, or began discussions with the Northern Irish Fisheries Minister and the DEFRA Fisheries Minister in London to look at how we can actually have a Queenie management across the whole of the Irish Sea rather than just our bit, because what happens is we'll end up with a really good sustainable fish stock in our 12-mile limit, and then 2 or 3 yards outside of that the stocks will be wiped out. So it's important that we get this right.
And that was really my point, was that you can do all this stuff, but unless you've got everyone else following you in the same way, you're kind of not on equal playing fields here.
Well, I think we are, because we can guarantee for our fishermen that at least our bit of the Irish Sea is being managed sustainably. That means we have this MSC accreditation, which none of the Queenies caught outside of our territorial sea can have. So we do have that extra badge, that extra label, which means that what we're doing is better in the long-term interests of our fishing industry.
And is there anything to say at this moment in time that come next year you'll be happy to open them, or will there have to be lots of investigations first to see how the stock's doing?
Well, clearly there will be a scientific assessment of the stocks, but what we've had this year from the scientists is an assessment that between 3,500 and 4,000 tonnes can be caught this year, and we'll still have a reasonably sustainable fishing next year. So I'm hoping that the scientific advice won't have changed by the time we get to the beginning of the season next year.